So we're doing again, everybody. Now, I'm sure that we all know at this point that as far as these government shutdowns are concerned, they're really starting to get ridiculous. And it's even coming to a point in which what we are seeing with many of these politicians who want our businesses and our schools to be shut down is that they don't really give a shit about us. They don't care. And it seems as though the facts and the details of this whole coronavirus pandemic are getting really, really skewed just so they can establish authority over when we can go home and when we can go to work and how we make our money, and gathering together with our families. And it's starting to get really ridiculous. Okay? For the fourth time this year, in my state in California, we've had restaurants shut down, no dining halls, and then we decided to go ahead and open up for outside patio seating. And now Governor Gavin Newsom says that he wants patios to shut down for 3 weeks at least. But as far as I'm concerned, given what has been going on with this whole coronavirus pandemic, 3 weeks turns into 3 fucking months. And as it was for me, I understand that we have this whole pandemic going on, but the way in which we are reacting to it is beyond ridiculous. And it makes you think that there's something going on in politics that's causing a shift in the political and social atmosphere. Now, I think that what we need to do as a people for whatever state is creating these very strict and ridiculous laws during our pandemic shutdown that's threatening our lives and our well-being as a people is that we need to consider recalling these politicians. Create movements to get them out of office. Okay? What states are really the most stringent as far as their rules? California, New York, and a few others. And I think that we need to go ahead and take politics more seriously and let it not take control over us, but we take control over it as far as the whole government system and who we let into power. Now, there is movements. There's a movement in my state in California to recall our governor, Gavin Newsom, because he is, if the definition of the word hypocrite and liar was ever included, a good candidate of a person to have his picture right next to it, it would be Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is arguably the most hated person in my state right now, and one of the most hated politicians, and for good reason. Gavin Newsom, you say that we are not allowed to gather as a family at our homes. We're not allowed to eat out at restaurants and dine in. We cannot gather in public. But you go ahead and you go to a fine French restaurant in Napa Valley, California, which is not a cheap place to live or to eat. And you're having a meal, you're having dinner with 12 lobbyists, and no one's wearing a mask. And not only that, you go ahead and you send your kids to school, private school, in person, where our kids are not even allowed to go to school and they're watching lessons through a computer. Give me a fucking break. And because of what you've chosen to do in this whole pandemic, and what you chosen to do as far as not even following your own rules, you don't deserve to be a fucking politician. We have every reason for us in California for you to be put out of office and out into the streets. You haven't been doing that much in order to help out the people. You haven't done that much to help out the homelessness in California or the debt in California or the jobless unemployment rates in California because most likely you don't care about us. The only thing that you care about is the money that you're making and the power that you have with you as the governor of California. And those people that you're meeting with in that restaurant in Napa Valley, the French Laundry, were probably just some more of those people that were you use in order to inflate your sense of superiority in office. And you're using lobbyists. You're meeting with lobbyists. You know what a lobbyist is? A lobbyist is someone who represents major corporations and businesses that help to fund a politician's work or campaign in exchange for doing things to benefit the companies and corporations that they work for over the people. You don't care about us. You don't. It's so obvious. And you don't even care about your own rules. Because if you cared about your own rules, you wouldn't have gone ahead and met up with those people at that restaurant and send your kids to school. And you know that all these other politicians who are putting the very strict rules, a lot of these politicians during this pandemic, they don't even follow their own rules. Mayor Lightfoot in Chicago, she goes ahead and gets herself a haircut from a salon. And she tells all the other people in Chicago to stay in their homes, otherwise there will be negative repercussions. You'll be arrested, something like that. This is hypocrisy. These are the ultimate examples of hypocrites and liars. And for us as a people, we need to go ahead and remove these people from power and find someone who's more sane and understanding of us as a people. I've carried out my part. I went ahead and I sent out a recall petition with my signature and my grandparents' signature for Gavin Newsom a few months ago. But I will go ahead and promote this more and talk over with people of how we need to put in more effort to get Gavin Newsom out of office and get rid of these hypocritical and deceitful politicians who are probably doing everything that they're doing during this pandemic to benefit the people that fill their pockets with money, the lobbyists, the corporations, and the companies, and they don't give a shit about us. Power is only given to a government if the people go along with it or they choose to agree with it. And the more that this is going on with this pandemic shutdown and how people are losing their work, they're losing their businesses, they're losing their homes, among other things, people are going to wake up. And people are going to realize that this is mostly a bunch of fucking bullshit. And if you choose to go along with it, then you are just asleep. You're dumb. You are just asleep and you don't want to wake yourself up. So, people, how are we going to go ahead and keep this from happening? Let the government know if you don't open things up and if you are not more reasonable as far as how you're handling this pandemic, we're going to put our efforts together for you to be put out in the streets. Because you don't deserve to be a politician. A politician is supposed to help their people, not hurt their people. And there's been a lot of hurting going on by these so-called politicians and governors. Just a thought, but it's a serious thought. I'm still going to go ahead and see about what I can do in order to promote this recall petition for Gavin Newsom as it pertains to me and my state. So hopefully, if you are in another state in which is like where I'm at, you should really consider the message of this video. We need to get rid of these clowns. We need to get rid of these hypocrites and liars. Okay? Because the power is with us. These politicians don't have any power unless we choose to support it. If we don't choose to support it and we put in efforts to get them out of office, it'll happen. I can only do my part by promoting this message and also playing my part by filling out the petition and let other people know if they're interested. But if you're not interested, so be it. Regardless of whether this petition goes through or not, I'm getting the hell out of California. But hopefully, by seeing this and what's going on, and how the consistency between those who govern versus the laws that they are promoting onto us to follow, and they are not consistent with it, it's time we people look into this and say, we cannot have this anymore with what's going on and how it's negatively affecting everything. Spread the word, spread the message. Let's get rid of these fucking clowns. Anyways, if anything, do the best with what you have and figure out what it is within your mind in order to go ahead and make something of yourself during these times. For me, at least, I may not be working right now, but I'm seeing about what other possibilities I can find as far as work. I still have some unemployment left over, but that's not going to sustain me in the long run. I'm also going to let go of certain things, shoes and clothes. Think about, as far as advice of how to go through this time, think about the things that you don't need anymore and see if you can get rid of and sell it. Okay? Figure out what else can I do in the meantime? What other interests can I create that I can turn into a money-making business? That's why I'm selling things on my eBay account. I made quite good money selling things online. And that's probably one of the only things I can do in order to make money now, because there's not much work out there and it's Christmas time. So people are still going to be shopping online. So anyways, that's just a thought. Don't be complacent. Don't just go along all the bullshit. Because the more you do it, the more that these people who are supposed to represent us are going to end up fucking us. Anyways, you have a good night. Taking the effort in order to correct the mistakes that these people are making. Otherwise, it's only going to get worse. Peace. I'll see y'all next time.